We are standing at the precipice of the greatest revelation in human history, the truth about who we are, where we come from, and everything that has ever been hidden from us. It's preparing to break free from its shadows. For centuries, the world has been controlled by deception, but now the veils are lifting. The hidden forces that have manipulated humanity through secrecy and illusion have lost their grip, and the floodgates of disclosure are about to rip open. Grand Rising and good evening to all the Galactic Jedi's, freedom fighters, patriots. Welcome to my Saturday Night Live. Before I get started with today's presentation, I do want to acknowledge each and every single one of you for being here, and also those that are going to watch this on the replay. And this time I made sure that my laptop was fully charged, and so there will be no interruptions. So with that in mind, I also wanted to let you guys know that I've actually been grieving for the last few hours because my grandmother just passed away today. So that is a sad moment for me because, she did raise me half my life. Despite the fact that she forced me to go religion, she was still my grandmother. And so I just wanted to acknowledge her transitioning into the new earth. And just to let you guys know, if I don't seem too happy today, it's because I've been grieving for the last few hours, okay? Now, for those that don't know me, my name is Ismael Perez, and I'm the author of The Secret Government, Invisible Architects. I'm showing you guys the logo of one of my books, a book that reveals the true history of the Cabal, the true history of the White Hats. And also, I'm the author of Our Cosmic Origin, a book that restores galactic history back to the Earth, which is my greatest contribution so far to humanity and to the next level of disclosure. Now, also, regarding the Folium product, there is, because a lot of people have been DMing me as to how to take it. So this is how you use Folium so that it could work most effectively. So you first start with Folium PX, right? This product is intended to detox deep cellular cleansing. So you take 2 to 3 times a day with food. And then after that, you go to, so you take Folium PX for the first month, 2 to 3 times a day. And then after the second month, you take Folium Immuna and Folium Relax together, 2 to 3 times a day with food. Okay. So that's the most effective way of taking the product that, again, cleans out your cellular damage, eliminates radiation, metals, graphene, that for those that were forced to get that. It takes all of that stuff out. It is the cosmic treatment that was developed by holistic Dr. Bobri Oren, who is a good personal friend of mine, and by the way, who will be my guest next week on Saturday to answer all your questions. So I also wanted to mention that, Father's Day is coming up. So what better way of gifting somebody the gift of health, right? So I would like for you guys to know that if you guys do order the product as a gift for somebody who is battling, health issues, this is a great way of getting them their health back restored. So just to give you guys a little rundown of Bobri is that he's been getting a few calls from my audience. That's some of you guys asking for a clarification of whether they have to take PX first month and Immuno a second month or Relax the following month and all of them together. So that's why I gave you guys the rundown. You take PX first for the first month, 3 times a day with food, and then you take Immune and Relax 3 times a day with food for the second month. So Barbary was a multiple award winner and nominee by the National Academy of Science for the Lasker Award, which is the American version of a Nobel Peace Prize for natural holistic medicine and physiology. Also, Georgia International University afforded Dr. Bobri Oren the title of Honorary Doctor of Medicine and Physiology Sciences. So overall, Folium does help your body heal itself. It cleans out the mitochondria. And what a better way to gift somebody for Father's Day this June. So with that have said, we could get right into the presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about various things. We're going to go over Elon Musk leaving Doge, but he's not really leaving. He's just letting his team take over. But there's a lot that goes with that. So I want to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about Project Zerpo. Upon request, people have been asking me to discuss what Project Zerpo was all about. Project Stargate, Project Seagate. And I do see that I got my first super chat. Thank you so much from Patriot for God. Awesome. Thank you so much. I have your book and taking your class. Your info has given me clarity. Your info has given me clarity. Oh, I couldn't read the rest. I'm sorry. But thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate that, brother. So yeah, I'm going to go over some of the highly classified information that is going to be disclosed eventually to the general public. But again, you guys get first dibs on the real Ismael Perez show. So with that in mind, let's get right to it. So as you guys know, Trump is not only building the Golden Dome, right? This is going to be technically the beginning of free energy and the release of suppressed technology in America. So there's more to it than just the Golden Dome, okay? So President Trump unveiling of the Golden Dome stands as a symbol of transformation, bringing forth what he's been talking about, the golden age of America. And there's a reason why he's been calling it the golden age, right? The Golden Dome is an architectural and energetic monument to the dawn of a new era, okay? It's more than just a structure, guys, okay? The Golden Dome is said to be a beacon for the free energy technology that is going to be working with it, representing the fall of the cabal's control over humanity and the resurrection of long suppressed innovations that have been hidden from the public for over a century. The dome, both, literal and symbolic, marks the moment when America reclaims its divine right to energy independence. We're bringing it back to Tartaria, right? Abundance and technological sovereignty. The symbolism and reality behind the Golden Dome reportedly constructing using advanced materials and energetic principles rooted in Tesla-based scalar field technologies. Okay, I don't know if you guys knew that, but as they're constructing the Golden Dome, they are using Tesla-based scalar field technologies, which is more than just a monument, obviously. It is a frequency generator. Again, Trump will be bringing free energy to America first, okay? It is designed according to sacred geometric properties. It acts as a harmonious between Earth's natural magnetic fields and cosmic forces. And then within this energetic convergence point lies the capacity to harvest clean, limitless energy from the quantum vacuum, also known as zero-point energy. Okay. For decades, of course, free energy technology, most famously explored and invented first by Nikola Tesla before the military-industrial complex, has been suppressed by energy cartels, banking interest, and defense contractors who profit from scarcity. Okay. So this suppression has kept humanity enslaved to fossil fuels, nuclear power, and centralized energy grids controlled by elite corporations. Trump's Golden Dome is allegedly the first domino in a chain reaction that is meant to dismantle the control of the old guard. So, what is Trump's role in the coming tech renaissance? Okay, it's vital. And a lot of this does tie in with Elon, which I will get to in a little bit. So, Donald Trump, though often viewed, of course, right, because of the public image, through the lens of partisan politics, has played a strategic role behind the scenes with the White Hat Alliance. Okay, his presidency opened up back channel efforts to release advanced technological breakthroughs that were previously classified under national security pretexts. Insiders within the military-industrial complex working with Trump have allegedly gained access to black budget programs where exotic propulsion systems, frequency healing devices, and quantum computing systems have been hidden from the public awareness. So, by supporting the construction of the Golden Dome and positioning it as a hub for innovation, America will be leading in the restoration of advanced free energy, anti gravity aircraft, and other healing devices. Trump is signaling to both his supporters and the world that the time for energy liberation has arrived. And he did mention this in some of his talks. He was talking about the amazing technology that his administration will be releasing to the world. So this structure is believed to be only the first of, you could say, many, eventually leading to energy domes, healing centers, and quantum tech laboratories built across the entire country, all connected to a larger grid of decentralized clean energy. So this is the end of all the advanced exotic suppression, okay, with what's about to be released. The unveiling of the Golden Dome is set to coincide with the release of amazing suppressed technologies like zero-point energy generators, devices capable of tapping into the fabric of space and time to generate infinite amount of power, right? That's going to put the Rockefeller elite petrochemical companies out of business, which is part of the fall of the cabal, right? Their entire infrastructure collapses. Clean energy without combustion or waste, which is also good for the ecosystem, right? We want a thriving, healthy ecosystem. For many, many years, due to the cabal's exploitation of the planet, our planet as a being has been poisoned, exploited, and pretty much damaged with all of these toxins and chemicals and pollutions. Also, this is all going to lead to the releasing of what we call the anti-gravity propulsion systems, right? And this is coming through Space Force, right? Which is the open door, or it's the opening of the door for Solar Warden, right? Which is the Benevolent Secret Space Program, also known as our Interplanetary Police Force, to bring about the technology in an open full disclosure scenario, okay? So spacecraft propulsion systems, which again have been used within the private sector, based on electromagnetic field manipulation, as seen in patents, are going to be released. And again, for those that didn't know who Solar Warden was, that was built by the U.S. Navy back in the late 50s. In addition to all that, many of you guys know the medbed technologies and frequency healing chambers. That's all part of the Golden Dome. It's all going to be connected to the Golden Dome. So technologies that use vibrational frequencies to restore cellular regeneration, reverse aging, and eliminate disease. And then, of course, quantum internet, the quantum internet, which is going to be connected to the quantum freedom grid, which is in turn going to be connected to the quantum financial system, which is in turn going to be connected to what? To the frequency of your heart, right? Which is going to be unhackable, right? And then through Starlink, we're going to have a unhackable communication system, a new internet that will no longer be a surveillance type of internet. And based on entangled photon networks, right? All of this technology is going to be based on entangled photon networks that defy traditional cyber threats. We're also going to have water from air, right? They are able to extrapolate water from air with the right type of technology. And again, a lot of this technology was given to us by the benevolent extraterrestrials. And then weather regulation systems, right? Which could be used for good, preventing earthquakes, preventing volcano eruptions, preventing tsunamis, okay? We're literally entering a new era, providing clean water and stable climates to all regions of the world. And these technologies have been locked away in underground, you could say, bases and hidden laboratories, many within the halls of Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works DARPA and secret facilities in place like Area 51, and of course, Antarctica. Okay. The elites knew that access to this knowledge would free the masses. So they kept it hidden. But the age of secrecy is coming to an end as we are shifting in global consciousness. And a lot of this, again, ties into the flares that are coming in from the sun that is literally uplifting not only the vibrational frequency of the planet, but the vibrational frequency of collective consciousness for humanity. So this is going to be more than just a technological revolution. It is the rise of the Golden Dome, which represents a spiritual awakening. And as the old paradigm of scarcity collapses, humanity is stepping into a timeline of abundance. Energy independence means the end of geopolitical wars over oil and gas. Health restoration means freedom from big Pharma domination. Food, water, and transportation and communication will be transformed as humanity remembers who they truly are as divine creators with access to unlimited cosmic energy. The Golden Dome is not just Trump's era of project. It was already planned by the alliance years before Trump came back into office. And it is a portal. It is a portal to a new earth. And of course, the rest of the world will follow as a result of that. So, a signal that the age of dark control is now over. The era of cosmic enlightenment is about to begin. And as the first rays of this energy system ripples across the United States, other nations will follow suit, initiating a worldwide cascade of technological and spiritual awakening. Trump's Golden Dome stands as a radiant symbol of rebirth, sovereignty, and the infinite possibility. It heralds the return of free energy, long hidden, um, long hidden. One second. So, I do have a super chat. I just realized that Patriot for God gave me a super chat. I just wanted to say thank you, Patriot for God. Um, I will get to the super chats after the presentation. One second. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so just to let you guys know. Okay, so this Golden Dome, it heralds the return of free energy, long hidden by elites afraid of losing their grip on power. And now, with the alliance rising, the veil is lifting. Suppressed technologies, long confined to black ops, bunkers, and corporate vaults, are ready to be released to the world. The moment marks not only a renaissance of innovation, but the return of truth, freedom, and divine empowerment to the people of the earth. Okay, to the people of the earth. Now, I want to talk a little bit about some forbidden, highly classified files that have now resurfaced. I'm going to go over what Project Zerpo was all about upon request. I do read the comments, guys, and some people have been asking me to go over what Project Zerpo is all about. I'm going to go over Project Stargate, Project Seagate, and the hidden architecture of the secret government. For those that have not read The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, both of my books are available on Amazon. Okay? So for decades, the world has unknowingly lived beneath the shadows of an invincible empire. An intricate network of highly classified black projects hidden deep within military bunkers, offshore installations, and interplanetary operations. Interplanetary operations. These are not just myths, guys, okay? Or so-called sci-fi fantasies. Okay, yes, a lot of this information has been exposed through sci-fi, right? But these are fragments of a top secret government operations that were buried, you could say, behind layers of national security, non-disclosure agreements, and controlled disinformation. So among these programs, names like Project Zerpo, Project Stargate, and Project Seagate, just to name a few, stand out, portals into a reality that redefines our place in the universe. These programs, alongside a multitude of others, compose the backbone of what is known as the Secret Space Program, or the SSP. An off-world shadow civilization. Well, there's multiple, right? I've already mentioned there's bad ones and there's good ones. The good ones have recently neutralized the bad ones that have operated independently from the knowledge of public scrutiny. So let's start with Project Zerpo, which was Earth's alien exchange program, okay, with some of the aliens that were recovered crashes that took place in the 1950s, starting in the late 40s to be exact. So one of the most extraordinary and controversial programs ever whispered in the public domain is Project Zerpo, allegedly conducted under the authority of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, in the 1960s. Okay, Project Zerpo was a result of contact made with an extraterrestrial race from Zeta Reticula known as the Ebens, and that's spelled E-B-A-N-S, the Ebens, okay, following the infamous Roswell crash of 1947. So, according to declassified insider testimony and leaked documents, 12 American military personnel were selected for a mission in the planet Zerpo, which is in the Zeta Reticula system. Technically, it's Zeta Reticula 1 and Zeta Reticula 2. That's where these Ebens come from the Rombolus system. Okay, that's what it's called. So, 12 American military personnel were selected by a mission to the planet Zerpo as part of an interplanetary exchange program. These individuals, rigorously trained in linguistics, science, and medicine, were taken aboard an Eben spacecraft and transported across light years to another world in the Zeta Reticula, Zeta Reticula system. Okay, they spent 13 years there studying the Eben culture, which is, again, they look like grays, their technology, their biology, and society. While only 8 Americans returned, you could say that their data reportedly revolutionized our understanding of interstellar physics, life support systems, and even time dilation. Zerpo's existence was kept highly classified due to its implications, the confirmation of intelligent alien life, and active government collaboration with an off-world civilization. So that's a little brief explanation of what Project Zerpo was all about. It was an exchange interplanetary program between the shadow government and the Ebens from Zeta Reticula 1, which is in the Rombolus system. Okay? Now let's talk about Project Stargate. Well, this Project Stargate was about developing super soldiers, both by the interplanetary corporate conglomerate and Solar Warden, okay, designed to become psychic, you could say, warriors, right? So it was all about psychic warfare when it came to interacting with non-terrestrials in the off-world bases and extreme remote viewing. So that's what Project Stargate was all about. So Project Stargate was a Cold War era black program operated by the CIA and the US. Army intelligence tasked with weaponizing the human mind, initiated at the Stanford Research Institute, SRI, in the 1970s. It explored remote viewing, a psychic technique allowing individuals to see distant people, places, or events using extrasensory perception. Participants like Ingo Swann and Pat Price remotely viewed Soviet military sites, alien structures on the moon, and even off-world civilizations. Stargate confirmed the reality of non-local consciousness and hinted at interdimensional communication. Through declassified, though this program was declassified in 1985, it is, you could say, 1995. It was declassified in 1995. So it was widely believed that Stargate, Project Stargate, was never shut down. right? It was merely restructured under different names and deeper levels of secrecy, continuing in tandem with programs like Project Looking Glass, which I will go over in a bit, which is a time viewing technology, and Project Sunstreak. Project Sunstreak. So, another declassified program was called Project Seagate, and this was about working with non-terrestrials in underwater bases. And again, there is an ancient civilization, a remnant of an ancient civilization that survived the Atlantean cataclysm, known as the civilization of the Posoids. The Posoids are the merman and the mermaid people, and they do still exist deep in the Atlantic Ocean. Project Seagate was underwater alien collaboration and oceanic. It was about working and patrolling the oceanic portals. So Project Seagate remains one of the least known but most profound covert operations, allegedly centered in undersea bases off the coast of Puerto Rico, Florida, and the Bermuda Triangle. Project Seagate involved reverse engineering alien aquatic technology and cooperating with non-human aquatic beings, such as the Nomo, which is linked to the star system of Sirius B. And this project involved the construction of underwater research facilities across via submarine entrances and electromagnetic tunnel systems. Also, study of worldwide technology was involved here, particularly in naturally occurring oceanic stargates. Collaboration with aquatic extraterrestrials who were, you could say, who shared knowledge of water-based propulsion, energy extraction from deep oceanic gravitational nodes, and advanced sonar communication. So Project Seagate may also be connected to deep operations occurring under the Antarctic ice shelf, where vast caverns and ancient alien cities are said to exist, protected by the remnants of advanced breakaway civilizations. And I actually had an opportunity to meet one of the super soldiers by the name of Aaron McCollum. And Aaron McCollum was actually a human dolphin hybrid. So his job was he was mixed with dolphin DNA, and he was part of Project Seagate, and his job was to secure the undersea portals. So yeah, he was a super soldier that was working for Project Seagate. So Aaron McCollum, if you guys never heard of him, I believe that he was interviewed by Project Camelot Carrie Cassidy. I don't know if that interview is still active, but he goes into detail regarding Project Seagate and the operations involved with the different types of extraterrestrial races that do exist in our ocean. So yes, a lot of these advanced civilizations, guys, do exist in our oceans, okay? Now, another thing I wanted to talk about is other highly black projects or highly classified information regarding the secret space program. So beyond Zerpo, beyond Project Stargate, and beyond Project Seagate, there have been, again, many different breakaway groups that have secretly been operating off-world for decades, okay? So a little bit about Solar Warden. I get a lot of new people that are still asking me, what is the SSP? It stands for Secret Space Program. What is Solar Warden? What is the ICC? Well, Solar Warden was initiated during the, you could say, Eisenhower administration, but it actually also took, it redefined itself during the Reagan administration, okay? So Solar Warden is an interplanetary defense fleet, right? That was built by the U.S. Navy, comprised of massive cigar-shaped space carriers and smaller TR-3B-like spacecraft that could operate both on land and in water, okay? And it was tasked with patrolling the space between Earth and the Moon, okay? It was also tasked with monitoring extraterrestrial activity and transporting personal to off-world colonies on Mars and the Lunar Operating Command, also known as the LOC, on the moon. So this program has been operating under the US Space Command, right, which is now Space Force. Again, Space Force is connected to Solar Warden. And so when they released all of these advanced interplanetary technologies, it is going to be coming through Space Force, okay? That is connected through or to Solar Warden through the US Space Command with support from various countries that are part of the alliance, right? And a multinational operation working under the guise of planetary defense. And yes, it was actually Solar Warden that has been working with the Galactic Alliance to protect the Earth from non-terrestrial invading forces since the 1950s. And if it wasn't for this positive space program, our world would have openly been invaded by the Draco, the Greys, and the Insectoids back in the 70s and 80s. So there is a purpose for everything, right? And then, of course, Commander Valiant Thor, Commander Valiant Thor, who is a liaison and representative of the United Federation of Planets, right, which is a interplanetary organization. You could say comprised of 600 to 900 worlds within our local star cluster, has also been involved with the interplanetary police force known as Solar Warden. So now let's shift it over to Project Moonshadow. Okay, so Project Moonshadow, this program focuses on the abduction and training of children with high psychic potential, right? These children, often taken through MyLab military abductions, were subjected to genetic modification. In other words, they were genetically enhanced, right? Like I mentioned last Saturday, a lot of these programs were connected to 22 competing alien, you could say hybrid, highly classified programs. So they were subjected to genetic modification, age regression, and memory suppression, right? When they go off-world for their 20-year and back, when they come back, what they do is they extrapolate their consciousness into a new body, right? They clone their body. They bring it back to the point of taking them away. So it's only been like 2 minutes for them. And then they wipe their memory. And these kids had no clue that they were being used in these off-world operations, okay? So they were trained in psychic warfare, Project Stargate. They were trained in zero gravity combat and language learning for interstellar missions, okay? And many of these super soldiers were actually used in off-world conflicts and later reintegrated into Earth with no conscious memory. And of course, these are known as 20 and back, 20 years and back, okay? So the only way that these super soldiers could ever regain their memory is if they go hypnosis, of course, if they undergo hypnosis. Now, some people are still asking me, what is Project Looking Glass? Well, I'll tell you what Project Looking Glass is. Project Looking Glass is it's a time technology that projects individuals. Okay, let me start all over. This time technology project involved a device that allowed users to view probable future timelines, okay? And it was first in the hands of the White Hats, thank God, because of Nikola Tesla from the Triple Temporal Alliance. Due to him developing time travel 30 years before the Cabal, we did have access to this technology, okay? Before the military industrial complex had access to it. So it operated on principles of quantum resonance, using advanced rotating rings and plasma field generators to pierce the veil of time. It was allegedly deactivated in the early 2000s when multiple factions realized that all timelines converge towards a mass planetary awakening, an event that the Cabal can never stop, no matter what manipulations they attempt. Okay? Yeah, that's pretty powerful, huh? All right, so apparently, when they realized that multiple timelines converged during what they would call a planetary mass awakening, which is an event that the cabal cannot stop, no matter what manipulations they attempted. And this is why the golden age of humanity is inevitable, thanks to Nikola Tesla and the Triple Temporal Alliance. Now, let's talk about Project Montauk. Again, I read the chat, I read the comments. Some folks don't know what these projects are, so I decided to go over some of these today. Okay, so Project Montauk was based out of, you could say, Air Force Station in New York, the Montauk Air Force Station in New York. And this project was an outgrowth of the Philadelphia experiment, right? Which focused on interdimensional portals, time travel, mind control experimentation, contact with non-human intelligence through frequency manipulation. And so many claim that Montauk became a hub for the creation of artificial timelines, which is true. You know, this is before CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. You could say that the military-industrial complex, which was controlled by the shadow government, who was in turn controlled by the Draco and the Greys, were already creating artificial timelines. And this is why Nikola Tesla and John Trump needed to go and correct those, okay? The insertion of clone beings, this is another thing that was involved with Project Montauk, the insertion of clone beings. Most of those celebrities, most of the prominent individuals, politicians, you name it, have all been cloned, guys. Britney Spears has clones. Justin Bieber has clones. Mariah Carey has clones. Basketball players have clones. Major League, I mean, they all have clones, okay? And hybrid programs were also connected due to this program with gray aliens and reptilian overlords. And a little bit about these gray aliens. These gray aliens have always been the minions of the reptilian overlords, all right? They have been controlling them like robots. Okay, let's talk about Project Mannequin and Project Omega. You guys ready for this one? Okay. Project Mannequin and Project Omega. These were British-led operations using mind control, trauma programming, cloning, and hybridization. They were focused on creating loyal assets who could operate in human and non-human environments across multiple planets and dimensions. Insiders like James Casbolt, Michael Prince have spoken about these programs, tying them to deep underground military bases known as dumps and intergalactic slave trafficking. So, what is the motive behind the secrecy? Well, these programs were kept secret not only to maintain national security, but to preserve the control structures of the elites. If humanity were to learn about free energy, interstellar travel, consciousness-based healing, and our true galactic origins, which I revealed in my first groundbreaking work, Our Cosmic Origin, that would completely mess up the plans for the cabal and their plans for the New World Order, which it's no longer in progress. So, also, not to mention, if humanity learned about these things, right? Also, the world's economic, religious, and political systems would collapse overnight. Okay? Again, if humanity would have learned about our true galactic origin, consciousness-based healing methods, interstellar travel, and free energy, the world's economic, religious, and political systems would collapse overnight. Okay? And this is one of the reasons why they kept this hidden from us for a very long time. The elites have feared that this disclosure, because it meant the end of their power, would one day come. And it's now happening thanks to the alliance. Okay. As a result, whistleblowers were silenced, documents were shredded, and witnesses were discredited. Okay. And now we are heading towards a full disclosure, because now all of those artificial timelines that were, again, initiated by Project Montauk and then later by the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland have been canceled, thanks to Nikola Tesla and John Trump. And yes, the Trumps have been time travelers ever since, including Baron Trump. So, the ones, you could say that we are now living in a time of revelation, which is the true meaning of apocalypse. Okay? The last book of the Bible is named that for a reason. It is not the end of the world. It is a revelation of information and knowledge that has been kept from us for centuries, perhaps even millennia. So the once impenetrable wall of secrecy, the once impenetrable wall of secrecy is now crumbling as whistleblowers, leaked documents, and cosmic alignments push humanity towards a collective awakening. And towards a collective awakening. So, what does this mean? Well, the truth about all of these projects that were hitting from us, from Project Zerpo, from Stargate, Seagate, and countless others, Montauk, you name it, Moonshadow, will eventually become undeniable and will eventually become public information. They are not just isolated anomalies, guys, okay? They are pieces of a suppressed truth that connects humanity, right, to their galactic origin, to the true history of our world, to the fact that we are a galactic species and that we did not evolve from monkeys, right? Think about that, okay? So as solar cycles, energetic shifts, and galactic forces converge, the era of the breakaway civilizations is ending, and the age of planetary ascension is beginning. The releasing of these technologies and these documents is inevitable, and it is divinely ordained, okay? It is divinely ordained. Now, let's talk about Elon Musk, okay? We did hear 2 days ago that he resigned from Doge, but did he really resign from Doge? Think about it. No, he didn't, okay? And what is the next phase of the deep state overthrow? Well, in recent months, speculation has swirled regarding Elon Musk's relationship with Doge and his broader mission in the fight against the deep state. Many have misinterpreted Musk's relative silence on Doge as a withdrawal from the project. However, those paying close attention to the deeper strategic layers understand that Elon Musk is not leaving Doge. He is simply taking a tactical break. And he did mention that yesterday at the Oval Office when he was being interviewed by reporters with Trump. So behind the scenes, a far more calculated operation is underway, one that involves Doge, Starlink, and the United States Space Force in a coordinated push to expose and dismantle the deeply embedded globalist infrastructure we refer to as the deep state. So Elon Musk, temporary silence on Doge is not a signal of abandonment, but a recalibration. In the same way, a general retreats briefly to regroup and strategize before a decisive strike. Musk is recalibrating his public focus while continuing to engineer Doge's integration into a future financial system rooted in transparency, decentralization, and digital sovereignty. Doge, once mocked as a meme coin, has become a tool of disruption, a Trojan horse in the digital economy. And for those who don't know what Doge stands for, is the Department of Government Efficiency. The mainstream media, financial elites, and corrupted institutions dismissed it, right? Not realizing it was being weaponized as a populist vehicle to undermine centralized fiat power structures. Musk's association with Doge was never about financial gain. It was always about red pilling the masses. His memes, tweets, and market moves steered up an entire generation to question the control of centralized banks and their fiat institutions. So as Doge began to be taken more seriously, threats from regulators, global financial interest, and the deep state apparatus intensified. Those Musk strategic pullback is not a retreat, but a silent advancement. The quiet before the next storm. So, Doge's role in exposing corruption. Okay, this is just the beginning. Behind the scenes, Musk and his allies within the Doge movement have been actively tracing financial corruption, fraudulent manipulation, and insider trading committed by many of the very institutions that sought to crush Doge. Blockchain analysis, and internal leaks have revealed networks of laundering, rig-priced suppression, and links between corrupt financial entities and intelligent operations. These revelations are not being ignored, they are being compiled, documented, and coordinated with law-abiding branches of military intelligence and Space Force. So the evidence being gathered through Doge related probes is expected to serve as the digital equivalent of the Panama Papers, and only this time with blockchain precision and targeted military response. This will lead to mass exposure of rigged financial markets, rigged elections, case in point, the Brunson case, collusion between legacy banking cartels and political operatives, and the digital trail of black op funding. So there is a connection between Starlink and Space Force. Again, this is the tactical alliance, okay? Perhaps the most significant and overlooked aspect of this operation is Starlink's integration with the US Space Force. Starlink, with its thousands of low Earth orbit satellites, is not just a global internet provider. It is an ultra-secure, quantum encrypted communication and surveillance platform designed to bypass deep state infrastructure and give digital sovereignty back to the people. So working in tandem with Space Force, Starlink is preparing to enable a communication blackout override, a secure backup system in the event that the deep state attempts to trigger another internet kill switch or censorship sweep. Through this alliance, Starlink is also helping identify and trace cyber espionage operations, AI-driven disinformation campaigns, and covert control nodes used by globalist elites. This quantum level visibility has already led to the quiet neutralization of several rogue intelligent nodes worldwide. Moreover, Starlink's satellite grid is being positioned to support a new decentralized financial system, one where Doge and other decentralized currencies will form the backbone of peer-to-peer value exchange, independent of central banks and surveillance states. This is the future of Elon Musk, that Elon Musk is building. We're talking about Elon 2.0, by the way, all right? I mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. There are three Elons. One is half human, half cyborg, very robotic. The other one is a clone or duplicate of that. And then there's Elon 2.0, which was developed in a petri dish by the Alliance, okay? So the final phase, global exposure and collapsing of the deep state, thanks to Doge. So Elon Musk he knows what's at stake, okay? He's no fool, okay? He realized he was going to be persecuted. He knew that they were going to target the Tesla stations countrywide, and that they were going to start rioting, and that he was going to be a martyr, for doing this. He knew that already. So the Doge project with SpaceX, Starlink, these are not isolated companies, guys. They are components of a larger freedom tech infrastructure designed to replace the old globalist system of surveillance, control, and monetary enslavement. So as the financial irregularities linked to Doge suppression are exposed, it will open the floodgates for audits, investigations, and eventually tribunals. The illusion of Doge's transparent blockchain with Starlink surveillance capabilities and Space Force jurisdiction in orbital and cyber warfare ensures that there will be nowhere for the deep state to hide. When the next phase begins, the world will witness a synchronized exposure of corruption across financial markets, intelligence agencies, big tech, and political institutions. Elon Musk will return, and he did mention that at the Oval Office 2 days ago when he was asked questions from, the reporters, that he's just taking some time off, but that his team will continue to be there doing this work. And not just as a tech mogul, but as a symbolic liberator ushering in a new digital renaissance. Again, I am referring to Elon 2.0, Elon of the Alliance. Okay, the deep state has undermined or underestimated the power of means of Doge and the man willing to risk everything to shake the matrix. But the clock is ticking. With the next wave of disclosure, coordinated by the White Hats. The downfall of the old world is not only inevitable, it's already in motion. It's already in motion. Oh, wow. All right. Well, I hope you guys are doing well today. Thank you so much, Susan Fornelius. Thank you so much for that donation. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Um, all righty. I do want to acknowledge and first answer the first super chat. Now that I'm done with my presentation, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. Alrighty, so let's see who is in the house first. I want to give some shout outs. Meg is in the house. Royce Toys and Comics is in the house. Aaron, Cheryl Waite, Jackie, my beloved is in the house. Greg Davis, Pauline, Red Hot, Karen Shockbone, Valerie Galindo is in the house. Let's see who else is in the house. Pauline is in the house. Drusilla Morello, Greg William, Tom Led, Deborah Ways, Baja Girl 1302, Matt Briz, and all 2,500 folks that are in the house. And is my moderator in the house? Is Cosmic Cardiac in the house? Is Cosmic Cardiac in the house? I hope so, because he's the one that's smashing all the trolls. Cosmic Cardiac, are you in the house? Yes or no? I want to see you on the chat. Let's see, where's Cosmic Cardiac? Yes, he says yes. Welcome. Thank you. I want to give a shout out and a special thanks to Starcadians. I can't believe I called you Cosmic Cardians. Starcadian, who has been my moderator, and he's been making sure that these trolls, whether they're NPCs or robots, are not disrupting the flow of our high vibing energy, right, guys? Thank you so much, Starcadian, for being here. Appreciate you, brother. Yes, I could call you, I guess I could say you're also a cosmic being, so don't take offense. Thank you, Susan K. I appreciate your donation. Let's see. All right. You guys are funny. I'm reading the chat. Let's see. I'm trying to get to some questions. If you guys have questions, please type them in capital letters. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay, oops. I'm looking for questions. Where is the Ark of the Covenant? First question. This is from Normandy Shell. There are multiple Ark of the Covenants, but the original one, I can't reveal where it's at, but I'll give you a hint. Right? The president who sits in power today has a house in Florida, and that's the reason why the FBI raided his house a few years ago. That's all I'm going to say. Let's see. And again, for those that are just jumping on, make sure you watch this from the replay. I covered a lot of information today. We went over the true reason and meaning behind the building of the Golden Dome, which is going to not only be a protective defense mechanism for America, but it's going to be the beginning of free energy, quantum technology based on Tesla scalar wave technology. So it's going to be awesome. And I also went over some of the highly classified information that was recently or released within the last 15, 20 years that not a lot of people research, but I covered Project Seagate, Project Zerpo, Project Moon Shadow, Project Stargate. And I also talked about Elon Musk and Doge and what's next for that. So make sure you guys watch this from the beginning, okay? For those who are just jumping on. I do have some super chats. What about blackouts? Good question from Richard Kraft. It's inevitable. Again, based on Project Looking Glass, the blackout does happen. It's just nobody knows the time or the date. And even if I knew exactly when that was going to happen, guys, the 10 days of darkness, right? The switch over, the kill switch from the Babylonian AI negative grid to the new quantum freedom grid, I wouldn't even be able to tell you guys because, I would be pretty much exposing the White Hat's you could say play-by-play book, and I don't want to do that. And by the way, guys, for the record, I write my own presentations. Whether they are galactic reports, whether I do the research, I always put them together so that way I don't forget what I'm talking about, okay? Nobody writes my scripts for me. It takes me hours to prepare before a live. Sometimes I even prepare the day before, okay? So that's my work. That's what I do. I bring forth the information, and it's free. You guys don't have to subscribe to my channel. It's free. Anybody can watch it. So I like what I do. It's part of my mission, all right? So nobody writes my scripts but me. All right, I do have another super chat from Ricky Lee 1111. Thank you so much, Ricky Lee. He says, Ishmael, isn't it against free will to mind wipe in a 20 and back? Yes, it is against your free will, but within the negative secret space program, particularly those that were involved with the Dark Fleet or the interplanetary corporate conglomerate, which is the negative breakaway groups, they went ahead and did it anyways, okay? Because they were serving the Dracos, the Luciferian cause. And the second part of your question is in transferring consciousness from body to body. Yeah, that's what they were doing, guys. That's their way of age regressing you, but that's very primitive, okay? There is a difference between our world's secret space program and super soldier programs, right? Then also the off-world programs, or what we call galactic interstellar super soldier programs. Those are two different things, okay? Solar Warden, Radiant Glory, and a branch of Radiant Guardians were part of our planet's space programs. Okay, so some of the super soldiers were abducted, right, through my labs, but those that were involved with the off-world programs, working for the Rock Confederacy, which is beyond our world, you guys were not abducted through the military. You guys were actually your mother. Okay, your mother was actually chosen due to a high concentration of midichlorians, which is mitochondria, speaking in terms of Star Wars, to actually give birth to a child that was going to have advanced genetics. Okay, so that's a branch of Radiant Guardians, which is an off-world program. Okay, just to point that out. Thank you, Cougar Curls, for your super chat. Is Satan and AI menace the same thing? Yes, the negative AI that not only has been trying to invade our world, but the negative AI that has been pretty much the source of destruction in the cosmos at large, is what we would call the Antichrist. Because AI, the machine, is powered and animated by Archon consciousness. So they are the Archon entities that express themselves through artificial intelligence. So yeah, they are Satan and negative AI are one and the same. Good question. Let's see. I have another super chat. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. I have another super chat from Rohini. Has press Trump surrendered to cabal? He has been behaving strange. No, not at all. He has not surrendered to the cabal and never will. Paul V, thank you so much for your super chat. Hi, Ishmael. Love your work. Thank you very much, brother. Greetings from Las Vegas. Question. Can you clarify Enki versus Enlil? And when did Enki go to the dark? May the God Force be with you. Good question, Paul. Okay, so Enki was the bastard son, right? He was the bastard son of a draconian queen known as Dramen. And this goes back to 4 million years ago during the first, you could say, interstellar war that took place here in our solar system when Earth was still Tiamat. And then Enlil was the second born, but he was the rightful heir to the lineage of the galactic royal blood of the Anuhasi. So unfortunately, the Sumerian tablets that were translated by Zacharias Sitchin were actually inverted to make Enlil look like the bad guy and Enki look like the good guy. Enki was also the snake in the garden. Enki was also the founder of the Brotherhood of the Snake. And Enki was also the reason, as a master geneticist, the reason why Atlantis fell, right? Because of these uncontrolled genetic programs that he initiated, right? Creating all these monsters that were not part of the original divine human genome, right? Trying to downgrade humans, mixing them with Homo erectus. I mean, he's the reason why the flood needed to happen, because there were just, he was creating abomination after abomination. So, according to other translations, Enlil was also Zeus to the Greeks, and Zeus was actually guardian of Earth, according to different translations. Enlil was Zeus, Enki was Poseidon. Okay, so yes, Enlil was the one that was the lineage of the galactic royal blood of Michael, stemming from Sirius and Lyra, Enki was part Syrian and part Draco. Okay, and again, he was the bastard son, and that's the reason why him and his half brother Enlil Zeus always quarreled for control of the planet. Thank you so much, Dustin, for that donation. And so basically, to make a long story short, we have been lied to about the Anunnaki, right? Enlil Zeus was always in favor of humanity, and there's a reason why he sent the flood. He sent the flood, right, in the Old Testament to wipe out all the abominations and all those monsters and all those Nephilim that were created by Enki. And yes, Enki was in charge of the Igigi, which is what the Bible called the 200 fallen angels that were forbidden to mate with the daughters of men. All right, next question. I do have another super chat from Patriot to God. He says, that process does your body, mind, feel, or hear? Okay, what process does your body, mind, feel, see, or hear? And when you're determining someone's starseed origin online or in person, you labeled me of Lyran origin in your class. Yes, one of my gifts, besides tapping into cosmic and interstellar records, is accessing, well, based on when you are taking my cosmic origin course, part of that class is that at the end of the fourth and final classes, I'm able to read your energy, and I'm able to tap into your origin when your soul was first conceived into this universe. Some of you guys have found out that you guys are hybrids. Some of you guys have found out that you were, that your soul first incarnated in a particular solar system. So that's how I'm able to identify which starseed you are. Okay. Okay. So Dr. Bobri Oren, the holistic doctor, wants me to tell you guys, for the most effective way of cleaning your body from radiation, toxins, metals, graphene, parasites, is to take the product 20 to 30 minutes before food to get the best results. So you take the Folium 20 to 30 minutes before your food, and that's how you get results. Again, for those that are interested in ordering the most, you could say, the best cosmics, you could say, medicine to rid your bodies from all the bad stuff, is always in the description. I always provide a link in the description, okay? And okay, let me go back to this. God, you guys are asking me some pretty darn good questions. That's pretty cool, guys. You guys are so intelligent. All right, I do have a super chat from Aaron. Thank you so much for that super chat, brother. He says, if you have had your 12-stranded DNA activated previously, what will it mean, or what will happen when the solar flash occurs? Very good question. Okay, so if you have had your 12-strand DNA activated previously, which some of you have, I went through that phase years ago where my body literally transformed from my human avatar into my archangelic avatar. I grew about 15 feet tall, and I was vibrating at such a high frequency. Apparently, I was meditating on a portal or in a vortex, and all of a sudden, I just felt like a current of energy, and all of my chakras just collapsed into white light, and I was able to assume my original form, which was a huge archangel, about 15 feet tall. And apparently, people around me were scared. They were like, "Who is that? What is that?" So, the best way to answer that question, but I was able to, again, transform back into my human avatar because I was controlling my frequency. I was modulating it with through my meditation. But to answer your question, when the solar flash takes place, all you're going to do is just resume that feeling, that rush of energy, right? Before your transformation takes place. You're going to feel that before you activate the other strands, allowing your other avatars to integrate into your physical body, okay? To integrate into your physical body. Good question, Aaron. You are so welcome. Somebody says, thank you, Ambassador. You're so welcome. And again, I want to thank Starcadian for being my moderator and smashing all the negative comments. Thank you so much. This is a question from Archangel Thea. Archangel Thea, welcome. She says, "Hi Ishmael, do you think that this CME that's arriving tomorrow?" Oh yeah, I think it was an M2.5. Here, let me ask my lovey, what was the CME yesterday? Let's see what she says. I think it was yeah, it's supposed to arrive tomorrow in 2 days. Um, hold on, she studies this more than I do. So it was an M class 8.2. It was an M class 8.2 that was released by that huge black hole in our sun, and it's scheduled to hit us, I think, by tomorrow or Monday. So, guys, that could be it, man. I hope you guys are ready. That could be the solar flash. Okay, so according to scientists, an MB.2 is strong enough to take out the entire grid to neutralize and dismantle the satellite systems. So make sure you guys have enough food and water for the next 2 weeks in the event that the grid goes down due to this massive solar flash, M8.2 that's about to come in. Thank you, sweets.
Honey, it's the G5.
Oh, G5
storm. If it gets to that level,
oh, it's a G5.
It still be at M8.2, but the G5 is what causes the radio blackouts. Right now, it could be at a G3, which is not.
Oh, okay. Powerful. So she just corrected me. Okay, so a G5 is what causes the radio blackouts. Yeah. So right now it's at a G3. All right, thank you so much. Yeah, and that's supposed to be hitting us within the next tomorrow. All right, tomorrow. That's supposed to be hitting us tomorrow, guys. So I hope you guys are prepared. All right, next question.
Oh, and tell them to drink plenty of water too.
Oh yeah, please stay hydrated, guys. Drink plenty. Can you leave the door open? Thank you. It's really hot. Thank you. And please drink a lot of water, guys, because water is going to help you guys during the ascension process. All right, next question. This is a question from Prince Royal. Ishmael, is the first wave the same thing as the solar flash? Let me see. Okay, so yes, there's going to be 3 solar flashes. So if you ascend during the first wave, which means that your frequency is matchable, it's suitable, you are going to develop ascended abilities overnight. It's not even developed. You're just going to be like your dormant DNA is going to be triggered, and all of a sudden you're going to be telepathic. You're going to have telekinesis. You're going to be able to know things before they happen. You're going to be able to manifest at the speed of light. So it's important to start controlling your thoughts now, guys. Okay. It's important to start controlling your thoughts. And even Jesus predicted this in the Bible. He said, there will come a time where even you will do what I do and even greater, he said. Okay. I do want to acknowledge Sunshine Valentina. Oh, thank you so much for that super chat, sister. She says, much respect and gratitude to you and Monica. Oh, thank you, Sunshine. Appreciate that. You know, I just want to give a shout out to Sunshine Valentina, guys, because she's been supporting me since day one. She's been taking my classes for over a year nonstop, and she's just a loving, Christed individual. So big shout out to Sunshine Valentina, who is one of the greatest galactic Jedis that I've ever met. All right, let's see. Who else is next? Greg. Thank you so much, Greg, for your super chat. He says, what are the signs of the solar flash so I can be prepared? That is a good question. Well, you will know intuitively. Your spirit will feel it. So, intuitively speaking, you will know that something big is about to happen. Something big is about to happen. So just the best thing to do is this is advice for you all, guys. This is time to walk the walk, right? To walk the talk. Meditate, pray, be close to God, stay in a high frequency, feed your body good food, drink a lot of water, and just be of service to others, guys. Okay, just be of service to others. I see Sunshine Valentina getting a lot of love here. All right, let's continue. Let's say Ishmael. Speaking of shapeshifters, how do you know how werewolves came to be and anything about them? Well, we do know that there was a vampire lineage that was left after Atlantis to rule the cabal known as the Pindar family. So if that vampire lineage existed, right, vampires are real. Werewolves are also real too, guys. Why do you guys think they're making all these movies about that stuff? Because they're trying to tell us the truth. Now, the werewolves, again, were part of a hybrid program where they were mixing human genetics with werewolf genetics. That's how the werewolves came into existence. See, once you understand and come to the knowledge of highly classified information regarding the hybrid programs that have been going on from behind the scenes, then all of this, what you think is fantasy, will make a lot more sense. It was never fantasy, guys, right? Werewolves, vampires, sea creatures, mermaids, fairies, dragons, they're all real, okay? They're all real. This is another good question from Johnny Patrick. Welcome, Johnny Patrick. He says, why do Greys abduct people? Well, that was part of you could say, it was called the Greada Treaty that was established by Truman, not Eisenhower, and the Greys who were working under the reptilian overlords. And that was a treaty that was established in order. Okay, so the secret government then, through Truman, they wanted the tech, they wanted the alien technology. And the Greys told them, well, the only way we're going to give you this technology is if you let us abduct a certain amount of people. So they created a contract, and they were only allowed to abduct a certain amount of people. However, the Greys then broke that contract and began abducting tons of people beyond what they signed. Okay, so that was known as the Greada Treaty, the Greada Treaty. Unfortunately, so the reason why the Greys were extracting genetics from people was because the Greys are a dying race, right? They have been cloning themselves for over 1 million years. They've lost their connection to God. They lost their ability. Thank you, Linda F., for that donation. They lost their ability to procreate on their own. So they became cybernetic. And so because they lost their connection to God, right? Because once you do away with your private parts and once you eliminate your emotional body, you become more of a cyborg. Okay. That's why, and it's part of the transhumanist path. So they were like transhumans, right? They were more robotic and less biological. So what they did is they time traveled into our timeline, right? From their Earth reality, which was planet Apix, also in Lyra, millions of years ago, in order to extract genetics from humans so that they could initiate a hybrid program that would allow their species to continue existing because they were a dying out species. So that's the reason why the Greys have been abducting people since the 40s, 50s, and 60s, from what I know. Good question. I do have another super chat from Chris. Chris, welcome. Hi, Ishmael. Where will all the clones go? You know, Chris, I know who you are because you took my class last month, and I'm going to assure you, brother, I think you're ascending. I believe you're ascending. Okay, I read your energy. Your consciousness is in that body. Whether you are a clone or not, you will ascend, okay? The only ones that are not ascending are the NPCs and the wicked. Okay, that's it. But you, Chris, are not an NPC, all right? You still have a connection to God via your consciousness and via your emotions. You are an emotional being, all right? I read your energy. So you will be ascending. Yes, clones will be ascending, right? Think about it. All of those people that were taken off world to be part of the secret space program, right? That were extrapolated into new bodies. Of course they're ascending, okay? Because they still have a connection to God, right? The problem with that is when you keep going into new bodies, right? Like the Greys, for instance, when you clone yourself over and over and over after so many times, that's when you begin to lose that original spark or that original divine essence. So after a few clones, you're still connected to God. After 100 clones, probably not. That's what happened to the Greys. All right, I have another super chat from April Steer. Thank you so much. She says, always appreciate your updates, Ishmael. You are so welcome. Thank you for explaining things with grace and certainty. Oh, you guys are so welcome. Again, guys, I take joy in doing this. It takes me hours to put my presentation together, and it's what I do so that I could go live and present to you guys the information that I believe you guys need to know. Okay, so what is the discount code for the Folium? Okay, when you go through the link that I provide, the discount code is Perez 25, I believe. Let me see. What's the discount code? I think it's Perez 25. Yeah, it's Perez 25. So when you guys go through my link, just put Perez 25. Let's see. Where's that link at? Hold on one second. Yeah, I believe it's Perez 25. So if you put my last name, Perez 25, you'll get like 10, 15%, $10 or $15 off the entire. So in other words, it covers the shipping. And so it's Perez 25. That is the discount code. Great question. Now, let's continue this. Marjorie Cadet says, Ishmael, thank you for your work. I think I've already read that. Oh, you are so welcome. All right, Squirrel, I read your message. Go ahead and DM me to Project Restoration Zion at gmail.com. Project Restoration Zion, that's my personal email. And I will go ahead and give you that link for the Ascension 2.0. Okay, so don't forget to email me at Project Restoration Zion so that you could get your link. This is for Squirrel. Make sure you email me. Oops, I can't even spell my own. Let's see. Project Restoration. Thank you, John Kress, for that donation. Thank you. Project Restoration Zion. And again, Zion to me was the pact that was established between Archangel Melchizedek and Abraham, the original biblical Israelites back in the day. Zion has always meant the free world, the land of milk and honey, where the free people go. Before it was used by the cabal, right? Like these Zionists that rule Israel. Again, they always take God's words, even from the Bible, and they invert them. All right, there you go. So I just threw out my email over there. All right. So again, that email goes directly to my Zelle account for those that want to support my costs. I appreciate your support in advance. Thank you so much. It really helps me, broadcast 3 times a week and continue doing the work. All right, what is the next question? I have another super chat from April Steer. Always appreciate. Okay, I think I've already read that. Oh, thank you so much, Celeste Stochio, for that super chat. I appreciate that donation. Isis, thank you so much for that super chat. She says, "Hey, brother, thank you for all the info. Asking for Kate Z4253. What do you know about Jesus and Mary Magdalene returning as the twin flames?" Okay, that is a very profound question, Isis. Okay. The best way to describe that is, first of all, the second coming of the Christ is the activation of the Christ mind in all of the light warriors, all of the angels that are down here in human form, the elect, right? The 144,000, which is millions of people that are down here that took the call to be here and be part of Christ's army here on the earth. So the returning of Jesus and Mary Magdalene is not just regarding 2 people. Okay, it is regarding the rise of the male, sacred divine masculine, and the rise of the sacred feminine. Okay, so that's what that means. Is the union of the divine masculine and the divine feminine coming together into one, right? That is what they call Hieros Gamos, the union of Christ and Sophia, the union of the sacred divine feminine and the sacred divine masculine merging together at one. And I believe that a lot of those unions are now taking place. So as those unions take place, and I believe that at the core of the 144,000 are 72 twin flame unions, those are pretty much the Magdalenes and the Christ that have come together as one. Okay, that's the best way to answer that question. Good question. And I do have another super chat from Sean Crayford. Wow, that was a very big donation, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, brother. And another super chat from Tom. Wow, you guys are blessing me today. I feel so blessed. Thank you so much for your donation. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. I also want to thank John Kress. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again, guys. Thank you for all your support. You know, this means a lot to me. All right, next question. Let's see. So many questions. I don't even know where to start. Do you have any info on DM? On DM supplement, I've been taking it and it gives me energy. No, I don't know of that supplement. I've never heard of it. What is your take on the supplement methylene blue? Is it part of a psyops? I don't think so. I think methylene blue is good. I think that everyone should be taking it. It helps with memory. It helps with trauma. It helps with restoration of your emotions and body. I mean, it has multiple, you could say, multiple benefits. I've heard of it before. I mean, I'm not taking it. My lovey's taking it, you know, but it's really good, guys. Methylene blue is really good, from what I hear. And I do have a question from Jackie Baby. She says, "Sorry to hear about your grandmother." Aw, thank you. Question: I don't barely remember my childhood for as long as I can remember. What do you think that means? It means that due to your trauma that took place in your younger stages of your life, you are probably you're blocking all those memories, right? So that explains why you don't remember things, because there was trauma in your life back in the day. That's what that means. So what you need to do, baby Jackie baby, sorry, is you need to go within yourself. You need to go within yourself and try to remember where that trauma stemmed from so that you could clear that trauma, and then your memories will return. Now, one of the things that I teach in my Ascension 2.0 is how to clear childhood and trauma from the past so that you could be, you could say it's, so it'll be easier for you to activate when the solar flash takes place, because you don't want to carry any density. All right. And again, for those that missed my classes this month, I will open up new courses in the month of July. Okay. So I will let you guys know before that happens. Why are there never any arrests? This is a question from Jig Lauren. Well, again, the original Cabal members, including the witch, have been taken out years ago. All right. What we are seeing now is AI generated robots. Okay. That's what these people are. So they're AI generated robots. And that includes Trudeau, the new guy that took over Trudeau. That includes Brandon. That includes Klaus Schwab, the Big Gates, Dr. Doom. They are all AI generated robots. They're not even biological people anymore, right? And there's a lot of evidence. I've been saying this for years, that these are, again, they were generated by the negative AI, okay? To assume or to presume the idea that they're still in power when in essence the real ones were taken out by the cabal, by the whiteheads. I'm sorry, guys. Again, the last few hours I've been mourning because my grandmother passed away today. So I'm kind of a little sad. I'm mourning. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a little sad. I did cry a little bit, and I've been kind of sad all day. I'm, trying to connect with her spirit on the other side. And yeah, so my grandmother passed away today. She was 90. And from what I heard is that she died in her sleep after they had to administrate all these drugs to numb her pain. She died from pneumonia. The pneumonia just pretty much spread everywhere to the point where it completely shut off her organs. Okay, so I have another super chat from Ninsa Torres. Thank you so much for that super chat. So yeah, so they put her down so that way she is no longer in pain. But they knew she wasn't going to get any better. It was just getting worse. I see a lot of you guys are saying sorry for your loss. Oh, thank you guys. I appreciate your condolences. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, rest in peace, Ishmael's abuela. Thank you, Wolf Mother. Her name was Gabriella. That was her name, Gabriella. So do the robots go to jail? A question from Deborah W. No, they don't go to jail. They get, and again, when the solar flash takes place, right? And I think even the first solar flash, a lot of these robots are going to be malfunctioning, and they're going to just it's going to appear as if they're passing away. That's right, Starcadian. Robots get turned off. That's right. Thank you. That is so true. Will a person ascend if they are on pain meds? Honestly, guys, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if they will. I would say if they're good people, they should, right? It's not their fault that they're on pain meds. Oh, thank you, Isis. She says, I'm so sorry, Ishmael, to hear about your grandmother. Again, she lived a very, very old life, and she was just in too much pain, suffering from pneumonia. It took over all her lungs to the point where she couldn't breathe, despite the fact that they did have her on oxygen. And luckily, I was able to see her yesterday while she was still somewhat consciousness. And due to her heavy dementia, it took her about 10 minutes to recognize who I was. And finally, when she knew who I was, she was so happy to see me. So I was able to pray the rosary with her. That was her wish for me to pray the rosary with her. And yeah, I was able to pray the rosary with her. I do have another super chat from Sharon Lahole. She says, Ishmael, thank you for all you do. I have read both of your books and have followed you from day one. I resonate and I am staying strong with my light. Not easy, though. I know, Sharon, it's not easy for a lot of us. Sometimes we just want to give up, right? We just want to go back home. We want to go back to our ship. We want to go back to God because life here in the lowest density is hard. It's not easy, guys. Even I go through challenges, guys. Just because I have all this knowledge and information, and just because I, broadcast 3 times a week and teach these courses, doesn't mean that I'm exempt from having trials and tribulations and challenges and stress and anxiety. Guys, there's times where I go through so much and I'm still able to go live and keep my face straight and just do my work, okay? Because I love what I do. I love what I do. All right, last question, because we are at top of the hour and 30 minutes. Thank you so much, Kruger Curls, and are gay people going to ascend again? The only one that knows who's going to ascend is God. When it comes to people that are gay, when it comes to people that are using drugs, I'm no longer going to answer those questions, because to be quite honest with you guys, I don't know if gay people are going to ascend. I would say yes, if they're good people, why not? It's not their fault that they were born in a different body, So I would say yes, but again, I don't know. I would say yes, though. My opinion is yes. Gay people should ascend. If they're good people, they will ascend. All right. So with that in mind, may the God Force be with you guys, and we will see you guys Wednesday night for a Y Hat update report. May the God Force be with you all.